So I am sandwiched between some sweaty, chirpy, jolly fellows, which are Team England. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, good.
I'm Team Australia, can't you see?
Shush you.
Can we give him to Team Australia after his 0 points?
Yes, I think we should. So we are here at the ETC 2013. These guys have just played their Ashes results, which you can listen to our Snake Eyes section to find out how that went. But what's going on this year? Are we going to win? Where are we going to come? Are we going to podium? What preparations have you done? You tell me, Dan.
I'm probably the wrong person to talk about preparations because although I was a member of the team, I didn't lead them in any sort of way. I'd say I think I chatted to you about this in the car. I'm not sure we're as prepared as we were last year, but we've got a solid core of players and experience makes up for a lot of that. So, but talking to other teams, there's some real learning points for what we could do next year to prepare more, I think. So, yeah, we're prepared.
Do you think preparation is the key?
I think it goes a long way. Experience is equal to preparation, I believe. I'd rather have 8 experienced players with no prep rather than 8 new players with 100% prep, and it's a bit of a mixture of the two.
How do you like the list that you're bringing this year?
It's okay, but it's a bit all or nothing. It's going to get lots of points, and it's also, I can see it 1 or 2 rounds losing big, and that's the problem really. It should be more about winning a little bit, and then in the rounds you win massive, you probably don't need 20, you only need like 14 or 15. But luckily, it's there to do a job, and with the matchups, get it in the right place, should be okay. We'll see. It's a bit of an experiment.
How much say do you get in the list and what army you're bringing?
You get, to be honest, you get quite a bit. If you I think a lot of it, it's very easy to listen to what other people say and try and change your game, change who you are. At the end of the day, you're on the team to do a job and picked for that army because you're good with that army. So at the end of the day, people can give you advice, but you're the the best player in that army. So you say, well, actually, I know what I'm doing, so shut up because you're wrong. We're all, at the end of the day, we've all got egos and we're all good players. So it's like, Ben's not going to listen to me if I start saying, oh, I think your Dark Elf list is rubbish, or you should change this, change that. Likewise, Dan, they might take it on board, but, at the end of the day, I don't play Dark Elves, I don't really know. He's the best Dark Elf player, so why should I tell him what to do? He knows what he's doing, so, yeah, I think it's...
How important is it to get on with your teammates in a situation like this? Is the holistic picture the most important thing, or the individual interactions?
Before I answer that one, I just want to go back to what Russ was saying about the list. And Russ has brought a real smash list. And one of the important things you need to realise with the ETC is often you get a list like Russ's, which probably has got 70-80% of getting a reasonable sized win, and then getting the remaining percentage is a horrendously bad matchup. And the reason we bring lists like that, which do have massive weaknesses, is because we hope that in the pairings we can get him into the good matches. We have other lists built into the team where those lists are just designed to take bad matches, get an okay result out of them, to allow Russ to, we could take 3 8s and allow Russ to get an 18, and we'd be up over those 4 games. And it works out in the end, and that's the reason we bring them sort of polar matches. And Russ is historically he's kind of been the man to do that job. He does it quite well.
In Ville we trust. That's in Ville we trust. That's the phrase. Yeah, but yeah, as Ben says, it is a team thing, and I think you can't get that across as much. We had a couple of rounds in this where people went down, and there was nothing wrong with that. But you've got to, when you're going down like that, it can be frustrating. But it's also a case of being confident that your other players can do their thing, and I think that's what we had last year for the first time really for a while, is you had that real confidence that your teammates could be doing fine. And it's the same in the Ashes. There's a few people going down, but there was also some you knew, like Jack was panicking big time. He was on the ropes, but you knew he was going to come out of that with not getting battered. He was calling it like he was going to get 20-0 and he come out with 10. So the interaction between how the team works, and you also get to know players' qualities. You get to know the pessimists and the ones that think they're going to win everything and don't, and so it all works.
Okay, now that's really interesting. We're obviously in a very interesting place. It's 2013. It's a complete year moving on from a nice event last year. Is this one better? Is this one worse? What are you thinking?
I kind of think there's been a new bar set for the ETC. We've not even started the event yet, I already believe it's the best one we've been to. Just for example, where we're sat now is one
Gareth's
of
Query Corner.
in Gareth's Query Corner is one of the small things that people care about a lot. And what you find is the game inside sorts itself out. The social side sorts itself out. The things people really rage about are the small little details. And it seems like the Serbian organisers have really paid a lot of attention to the small details. Things like we've got T-shirts we can buy. There's ETC dice. There's a media booth. They've got like 3 guys just doing coverage from the own organisers as well. There must be 20 staff on site doing various stuff. I know previous years have had a lot of staff, but I saw a refs meeting earlier, and there was 6 refs chatting for Warhammer. I know when Ben refed, just off camera, Mr. Johnson, when he refed in Switzerland, there was 3. There was Jedi, Ben, and Lidda. There might have been a couple of other table refs, but Shino, who was the Polish coach, dropped out from being the Polish coach to be a ref. So, they've just gone the extra mileage. Everything's been, just all the small details have been taken care of.
When you look at like the tables we were playing, and we didn't notice it earlier, if you pick a piece of scenery out from the table, each map is set on the table a set way. It tells you what the piece should be on there and where it should be. Like there's a H right on the centre of where the hill should be. There's a B right where the building should be. And then on the side of the rows, there's table numbers sellotaped to the floor. So when you're walking down the main row, we thought they were just random bits of sellotape until you stand down the row and look at them. And they've put numbers, so when you're changing rows, it's like bam, it's there. Cool. Table setup's there. It saves so much time at the beginning of the game, but it's those small details that we haven't had previously. And as Ben says, I think, and talking to quite a few people this morning from different countries, everybody said the same. The bar seems to be set that bit higher, and I'm hoping it's the new standard for the ETC.
Yeah, I'm hearing this across the board, really, from the other people that I've interviewed, and it's a really nice, welcoming atmosphere. The guys just want to help. I don't think there's going to be any main issues, and they seem to be key on problem solving. There have been a few issues with something to do with the pairings for the 40k that's been happening, and they just got on and solved it. Yeah. It's good. But there's been a couple of people moaning on Twitter feeds and forums and things like that. They've just dealt with it and responded to it. That's really nice. I like that proactive feel. But how proactive do you have to be in an ETC environment? How does this style of playing differ from normal down the club?
What, you mean gaming on the table? Gaming, yeah. It's massively different because you've got to think you're not playing for yourself. So where down a club, down a club or down a tournament is completely different anyway. But down a tournament, you'd play a game and you might go, well, I'll let that go, or I'll take a risk there, or I'll do this because that's how I play. But then you've got to think, actually, if I do something on the table that's going to cost us, there's 7 other guys that are dependent on me, that to do what I've said I'm going to do. And the important thing is that don't lose your head. If you start losing, you're losing. Don't let it affect you. Don't let it get to you, because you'll probably find that you'll lose bigger. Play your own game. You're picked on the team for a reason. You're a good player. You've proved that. You've got on the team. You're here. So don't. Advice is great, but at the end of the day, you're the one on the table. You're the one who has to make it happen. So if you're on the table, you're in control. It's all well and good. Other people, you say the coach says, "Oh, you need to push," or "Don't push," or "We're losing." But don't get distracted by the other tables. At the end of the day, that table is all that your sphere of influence is. That table. So don't lose focus on that. I mean, it's very easy to do. I mean, the guy played in Australia in the Ashes. He lost his head. He's new. His first ETC, first game of the ETC, and he lost his head a bit with it. And at the end of the day, he should have just played his own game. And I'm sure if he was in a tournament environment, played his own game, he would have just, done his normal game, and he would have come out of that game better off than what the decisions he made. But it is a lot of pressure because you are playing for yourself, but you're playing for your team. So the pressure can get to you. And then if it gets to you, then it affects the whole team.
Do you feel the pressure, Heelan?
I think.
And just what I do want to say is, boys, this is being filmed, so when you're having a little mothers' meeting, it's being captured.
So we were partly talking about.
We'll ask you where the beer was, and here comes our beer wench. Well done, Mark. Thank you.
Ben realised he was on the way down and decided to ease his pain halfway through. I realised I was up and decided to ease my pain about halfway through the game. So it's good. What I'd say is on what Russ is saying is, as he said, the Australian guy, I think probably that's where his game went wrong. He listened too much, decided to push it into combats that weren't there. In terms of feeling the pressure, I'd say experience helps with that, because I felt under no pressure this time round. But I was saying to Tom, our newest guy here, first Ashes I was shaking when it come to playing it. You know, it was like the expectation that's involved in it. But having played them now, I don't know, and you get a bit more confident as you get older and stuff, I think, as well. And no, I wasn't, but I couldn't say I wasn't sweating when I saw the results, and I was waiting on one particular player's result to come in to make sure we'd capped it. That was a bit of a concern. It wasn't as it would have been nice to know that with a game to come we were fine, but we had a few swinging results in places. So yeah.
So England has their composure, they've worked out their matches, they're kind of prepared, they know what they're doing, they know how to handle the pressure. What other things are you looking forward to experiencing this year? And also, what teams are you favouring to be where?
I think Sweden are going to be right there. They're my faves, actually. I'm not sure they'll beat Poland, but I think their lists, their preparation, and they're so keen. This year, they're my shout out for doing well. That means they'll probably do rubbish. I'll probably give them the kiss of death.
Really nice guys as well. I'd like to see them guys do well. I don't believe they've placed it in ETC in the past.
It's been close.
So yeah, the Swedes. I think I'd like to see them come second. No problem.
For me, I think Sweden, definitely. I think they remind me a lot of where, in terms of team spirit, where we were last year. Because after the back of Denmark, we were really up. Our tails were up. We were really up for it. I think they're way more prepared than we were last year, and I think they'll do really well. But I think Germany, I don't think you can write them off. I think they were unlucky last year not to be on the podium, and I think this year they'll be there. I think they're the dark horse. I think people have kind of maybe forgotten about Germany a bit, but after going to Denmark, seeing their list, seeing the way they played, I think they're really hungry for it. I think they're going to be up there.
Ooh, hungry for it. I like it. So, finally, guys, what are your predictions for Team England?
I think we can do top three again. We did it last year. A lot does depend on the draw, but I think we've got our tactics down. You need to crush, when you play the lesser teams, you need to crush them. You need to play it tight against the big team. It's true, you might laugh, but in the past, I think we've overly focused on facing the big teams. So our tactics was make sure when we do play the big teams, we don't lose by a lot. But then that general team approach meant when we played the teams that we should be getting 100 against, we was getting 95 or 90, and it wasn't enough. When it came to the end results, we was 10 points behind where we should have been. And we just, that's massive in the rankings overall. So
the event is won and lost on beating for want of a better word, chumps. That's basically where it's won or lost. If you, in terms of first place, you need to beat the good teams. But in being there, you need to beat the chumps.
I don't think that's where. Yeah, I don't think it's where it's won or lost. I think it's where the also rans matter.
Yeah, Yeah, but I think in order you can't win the event without getting 100 in those rounds. You can mathematically, but I think history shows that you don't get it. You can be on 4 wins and get reasonables, take points from people on podium. If you want to win the event, you got to win them. You got to win most of them. But I think for us that was our biggest improvement last year, and we've gone with the same setup this year as well, which is a couple of lists that can really go for it, and everybody else can do either. So we'll see how it goes.
So where will we be in your eyes?
Pessimistic me would say 5th. Optimistic me would say 2nd. There you go.
And Russ?
Yeah, I don't think we'll be on the podium this year. I don't think we've got the prep. We had a lot of disruption in the team with change of the captain. And although we've got experience, I think some of the guys that have come back to the team haven't played in an ETC environment for a while. And also we've got Tom who's not played in an ETC environment. Denmark, we didn't have our full team out. We didn't get the proper experience there. And likewise, we didn't have the full team at Six Nations. So I think, to be honest, I'll be happy with 5th to 7th. So I think that's probably where we're going to sit.
57th?
5th to 7th.
I know. So, yes, preparation, maybe, needed a bit more. Who knows? Change of captains, change of people, ETC environment, pressure. What's going to happen for England? Make sure you're following us here because you will hear it first. I want England to win, of course, because it was an awesome feeling last year, but I'll be happy for you to do your best. But if that's worse than last year, I'm not going to be happy, and I'll be wearing a different shirt next year. Probably one of the sexy vest things from Denmark or something. The wife... The what? Yeah, the wife... Yeah, no. Yes, absolutely. But thank you very much, and I'll catch you later, guys. Cheers.